Nice to see you. I believe you're coming to us on Zoom.
Good morning. Yes, I am. I'm in my sister's studio here in Sherman Oaks, California.
So let's just talk about what's happened here, because this is, or at least started as a enterprise-based business that's now become very much a consumer-oriented business. My kids upstairs, by the way, are using it for school today as well. How has it changed your outlook for the whole company?
So that's exactly right. First of all, regarding your children using it, we are proud that we've been able to enable over 90,000 schools in over 25 countries around the globe to use Zoom. And that, along with many other use cases that we didn't contemplate before this, such as grandmothers using Zoom to read to their children, read bedtime stories to their children across the country, as well as small businesses using it now to do tutoring or give yoga lessons. It has really transformed what used to be a business and a platform that was primarily used for enterprises to be used for all kinds of now consumer and small business use cases. And as you mentioned, that has caused a 20 times increase in our daily participants from just December through March. So yes, with that has come new opportunities and challenges as well, including opportunities to educate and enable our users in a very different way than we needed to before.
So the big question I'd ask is, you clearly had to scale up, by the way, on the hardware end to keep up with all of this usage. I assume there's cost involved in that. Is the expectation that 2, 3, 4, 5 months from now, hopefully when my kids actually can go to school in person and we're all back at some semblance of work, that usage comes down? How does that change the dynamic for you and thinking about how to start charging people, so many of whom are now using your service for free?
Yeah, so coming into this pandemic and seeing the increase in demand, we have been very focused on ensuring that the platform is stable and reliable and available for everybody who needs it. When we had our earnings call on March 4th, we did talk about this, that we already had started to see the rise in demand. And while I'm not confirming guidance today, we did indicate then that we expected to see an increase in our cost of goods sold, that would have an impact on our gross margins. And that is consistent with what we've continued to see. In terms of what does this mean going forwards, and are we trying to convert some of these users, as we have a freemium version of our product that many of these new users are using today. And we are really focused on ensuring that everybody and anybody who needs Zoom, who has a use for it today, can get access to it. We really want to focus on minimizing the disruption in communication during this difficult time for everyone. And it's too early to tell what comes next. Ideally, as you said, back in a few months, we're all back to a more normal state. I don't see everybody going back to the way that it was before. I don't think that everybody that's working from home today is going to go back to their office necessarily, or that these small business owners are going to stop using it in the way that they've had. So we'll just see what that brings. It's really too early to tell today.
Right. Tell us about the progress on the security front. A number of companies, including Google, which of course has a competing service with yours, but others, including some in government, have said, you know what, guys, don't use Zoom right now. We don't feel comfortable with the security. There's this idea of Zoom bombing, people jumping into these public webinars and things, and doing crazy things on the video. How much progress are you making on that, and what kind of big changes may we be seeing on that front?
Yeah, so some of these challenges that we've seen are due to the fact that Zoom was historically really an enterprise application, and we were selling to organizations that had IT teams to help enable and train their users on their security settings and how they should be using the platform. As we've seen this massive increase in consumers and individual users, we have needed to do a better job of providing them the information that they need as to how to keep their meetings secure, how to keep their meetings private. So there's a couple of things we're doing. First of all, what I want to say is Zoom is absolutely safe for everyone to use for their meetings. And we have a 90-day plan to ensure that everybody understands just how secure it is. A couple of things that we've done. We have started now changing the default security settings for new users as they come into the platform. So they have things like password protection on their meetings, as well as meeting rooms enabled. We also have entered a 90-day phase where we are freezing any new features on our platform to enable us to really focus on ensuring that the existing features and platform is as secure as it can be. We have formed already a CISO council of some of the most highly regarded companies in the world that are giving us their perspective on how we can ensure that our platform is appropriate for them to use in their organizations. And Eric, our CEO and founder, also has now a weekly webinar every Wednesday that is called Ask Eric Anything, so that every user has the opportunity to ask Eric questions or give us feedback about what they would like to see in the platform going forwards.
Kelly, got a question for you. This it was a churn on what Bill Gurley had a tweet out, the big investor, over the weekend. He says, we talk a lot in Silicon Valley about first mover advantage, but Zoom was hardly a first mover. The biggest and brightest companies have coveted this space for years and invested against it. Cisco, Microsoft, Google, Facebook. But Zoom was the one that broke out. You previously worked at Cisco, so I'm curious what you think. And I remember Cisco telepresence and the conversations we'd have a decade ago about that with John Chambers and everybody else. Why do you think this worked this time?
I think that Eric really had a vision about having a video-first communications, and we all believe that video is the future of communications. And this pandemic has just been an accelerant of having people get exposed to it in a very different way. So everything about our platform was built from the ground up to focus on video first. And I think the ease of use, the reliability, and the focus on delivering happiness to our customers has really what has made Zoom stand out. It is such a great, simple platform to connect people around the globe that it sounds simple, and yet it really was differentiated. It is differentiated from the other competitive products out there.
Okay, Kelly, before you go, I have one question on behalf of my mother, who's also become a Zoom user. You know, for free, by the way, the free service available for a 40-minute meeting. However, when you set the time, if you've ever looked, you can either set it to 30 minutes or 45 minutes. So you really can't grab the 40 minutes. So the Sorkin family wants to know if you can set it so you can change that in the next couple of days to 40 minutes. There's a lot of families who've been.
Okay.
Well, if you're going to give 40 minutes, the dial should have a 40-minute on it as opposed to 30 minutes or 45, because once you hit 45, you got to pay.
Okay, thank you. I will relay your mom's feedback to our product team.
Kelly, we appreciate your time and everything you're doing for so many who are using the service right now. Appreciate it.
Thank you. It's great to be here.